Ahead of the White House Jobs Summit, a new report showing the Pelosi health care bill could cost the nation 3.9 million jobs. My next guest jumping on this news in a press conference today. Republican Congressman Peter Roskam joins me now. We want to add, we did contact the Speaker Pelosi for an interview. She declined. Congressman Roskam, thanks so much for joining us. I want you to spell out exactly the mechanism here. How is it that the House health care reform bill would actually lose all these jobs? Spell it out.
Well, the Illinois Policy Institute, which is a nonpartisan think tank here in Illinois, took a look at Speaker Pelosi's bill, and they came to the conclusion that based on the taxing regime, the spending, and other crowd-outs from a private sector point of view, the state of Illinois over 10 years is going to suffer 169,000 job losses. Now, let's put that into a context. This is an administration that's advocating this bill, Stuart, that promised 8% peaking unemployment, and already nationwide we've blown right through that at 10%. And the way that translates for my state, that's 199,000 jobs that aren't here that should have been here. So the cumulative effect of all this, I think, is devastating.
Got it? Now, so you're saying that, look, get this bill through, taxes are imposed on private health insurers, and that costs 169,000 jobs in Illinois, I believe, and 3 million nationwide. So it's the tax increases, you impose those, that's the job loss, right?
That's the job loss, and ultimately it is, I think, a crushing crowd out, ultimately, of what could be a very buoyant approach. Look, there's a whole host of ideas that drive costs down as it relates to health care that unfortunately Speaker Pelosi and others just stiff-armed during the debate, and instead they embraced this very radical agenda that ultimately is going to be incredibly costly. And I think what most Republicans and most thinking independents, based on what I've seen in terms of polling, they're looking at this jobs bill, and it's in the context of being told that it was going to be a very, very different thing, and it's just chronically underperforming.
You know, Congressman, I think
for every citizen of Illinois, it's 4,000 people.
We got it, and I think your message is getting through. I just saw the latest Rasmussen poll is just out. It shows that support for Democrat bill, health care reform, is at an all-time low. It's down to 38%. 56% disapprove of it. I think your message is getting through here.
Yeah. And the other point, Stuart, is if you look at where independent voters are on this, at this point it looks as if 70% of independent voters, when they learn the details of the Pelosi bill, they begin to say, no, that's not what we signed up for. That's not the change we're interested in. And I think that there is a growing reluctance on the part of folks. Look, we were told that the health care bill that originally was introduced, I remember hearing this testimony from the White House and the Ways and Means Committee on which I serve, and they said it was going to bend the cost curve. You remember that?
Yep,
and then the Congressional Budget Office came in and said that's not true at all. It's going to bust the cost curve the other way. Then the White House began selling this in the context of job creation, and you've got independent groups like the Illinois Policy Institute saying, well, let's look at the diagnostic on that. And they came through with a great deal of detail, a very thoughtful study. And this is just in the context of the state of Illinois alone.
Okay.
You know, for the first time in a quarter of a century.
Jobs in Illinois. God, I'm sorry, I'm out of time, but I got the point. 169,000 jobs projected to be lost in Illinois alone if the House bill goes through. Congressman Peter Roskam, thanks very much indeed for joining us, sir.